A very good evening to you all and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to a second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 18th day of September 2023. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. And tonight we're going to look at many stories, including schools reopening, and also we'll be looking at the High Court that has extended an injunction halting the FDC Extraordinary Delegates Conference, and also police issuing safety guidelines for learners and parents as the third term reopens. And in sports, we'll be looking at the Uganda Rugby Sevens that defeated Zimbabwe in the bronze match and ended in third place. Those are some of the top stories that we'll be looking at. We begin in the courts of law, where the High Court has extended the injunction halting the FDC Extraordinary Delegates Conference that had been organized by the party national chairperson, Ambassador Waswa Birigwa. Justice Esther Nambayo, in extending the order, followed all parties' appearance in court for hearing of the main application, and court directed them on how to proceed in filing of submissions. We have more in this story.
The application before Judge Esther Nambayo of High Court Civil Division in Kampala was filed by the party delegates Intare Arafat Mwanje, Wante Jamal, and Malik Saz. The case was filed against the Party Forum for Democratic Change FDC, the party President Patrick Oboy Amuriat, and the party Secretary General Nandara Mafari. The hearing took place in the Justice's chambers. The three applicants are questioning the manner in which the Extraordinary National Delegates Conference is being organized, alleging that it contravenes the party constitution and the 1995 constitution. In court, Justice Esther Nambayo directed parties to file written submissions starting from 22nd September 2023 for the applicants, 29th September and 2nd October 2023 for the respondents to make their rejoinder. Court will resume on 4th October 2023. Formation of the case before the scheduling, lawyers led by Deputy Party President for Uganda region, Elias Lukwago, sneaked in, alleging to represent the party, and the party chairperson, Ambassador Waswa Birigwa. But lawyer Lukwago failed to convince court to stay during the proceedings, since the alleged party chairperson was not party to the application, and that the party had instructed lawyer Julius Galinsonga to represent it. Court closed lawyer Elias Lukwago and other lawyers outside the proceedings.
It's only the national chairman who is mandated to convene a delegates conference. And look at the provisions of Article 23 of the party constitution. The de facto chairman of the electoral commission, Honorable Totalebuka Bamwinda, I have the constitution here, has no power whatsoever to call that delegates conference. So these are matters which were supposed to be presented before the judge. Unfortunately, they said the person who colluded, actually who directed Totalebuka Bamwinda to call that illegal delegates conference of 6th should be the one now to represent the party.
Lawyer Lukwago later addressed the media.
Nothing that stops members from discussing matters affecting the party, regardless of whether there is a court order or not. The order they have secured stops Nandala from going ahead with his meeting. It stops Sipoa from going ahead with their meeting. It does not stop the chairman from proceeding with the meeting he called. So let them go, and they are free not to attend. Nandala and Poa are free not to attend.
The party chief whip Ibrahim Semujunganda also attended court.
I am going to write to the principal judge to complain against this particular judge, because the judge is aware that the FDC Delegates Conference is being called by Ambassador Waswa Birigwa, the party chairman, and you don't allow him to come and don't allow him to be represented. You don't even allow him to say something, and then you issue an order. So really, this is fraud at the highest order.
The applicants at the party headquarters at Najana Nkumbi had this to say.
Kati basajja bakulu bano babanga bali serious ddala baagaliza ekibiina nga tebali mu kwokya myaka gyaffe ffe abayingidde politics batuule bateese.
Kye bakoze bwe kuleeta ne balooya abalala abatali instructed, omukuli Lukwago, Tugume n'abalala. Kati abamu kubazze okuleeta obuvuyo ate neewunyiza okubanga omwogezi wa party Ibrahim Semujunganda ne Nyanjula Dorini bonna nga bali eyo.
The Extraordinary National Delegates Conference for Forum for Democratic Change was scheduled for tomorrow, 19th September 2023. Trouble in FDC started when the party chairperson Waswabiri Gwa sided with Dr. Kizza Besigye to accuse the FDC Secretary General Nandala Mafabi and the party president Patrick Aboya Muriat of receiving what they described as that estate money. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Nabogode, UBC News.
Still on news pertaining to the FDC party, the chairman Forum for Democratic Change, Ambassador Waswabiri Gwa, has told UBC that preparations for the extraordinary delegates meeting in Busabala are complete. Birigwa said this will also be determined by the court ruling. However, other members of the party from Najana Kumbi say the objectives of this conference are not clear, as we hear in this story.
The chairman of the FDC party, Ambassador Waswabiri Gwa, has said the extraordinary delegates meeting in Busabala will take place Tuesday. However, the deputy spokesperson of FDC, John Chikonyogo, said Birigwa is contradicting himself on the objectives of the conference. They think it is meant to chase out the party president and the secretary general from the party.
We're already ready. It is a matter of just putting up the tents and the chairs. As I know now, people have already arrived wherever they are supposed to be. People forget that this is, we have members who have been donating and contributing to many, many different activities within the party. Despite the issues of money and all that stuff, we have people who have been contributing, including myself. So, I happen to have a place which can easily accommodate as many people as possible. And there is so many people who love their party, who have contributed from water to matoke, others have contributed bulls. So we have all sorts of people who are able to help us to take this forward.
Let them not lie to you. I wish we could put a lie detector on all of them and ask them that why do you want to put this delegates conference? All of them will find out to show red. Because their aim is simple. They want Amuriat out of the party. They want Nandala out of the party.
Previously, there was a disagreement between members of the FDC party over the way the party was being managed and accusing each other over the alleged dirty money. The party executive failed to agree with the chairman of the party, and this worsened the situation, hence failure to agree on a number of issues, including holding the extraordinary delegates meeting. Even though Birigwa says Amuriat refused to call NEC, the deputy spokesperson FDC John Chikonyogo says this is supposed to be called every after 3 months according to the party constitution.
The reason the chairman gave that NEC has not been meeting, he wanted to take an Amuriat to delegates conference. I brought him because NEC was not sitting. But if he checked our constitution, it's very clear. The mandatory NEC has to be there every 3 months to receive quarterly reports.
Power starts and ends. The founders of the party found it fundamentally necessary to separate the executive, okay, from what I would call the owners or the board of directors. My responsibility is to take care of the party on behalf of the delegate conference. And there it's clearly stated who has got the right to do so. The powers to call a delegate conference, to call extraordinary conference, to call a special conference lies with the chairperson.
Birigwa insisted on organizing the extraordinary delegates conference, to which powers he is given from the party constitution.
An extraordinary meeting shall be convened by the chairperson in any of the following circumstances. A, when the chairperson so decides. That's number one, and that's the one I'm utilizing.
On the disagreements on who has certain powers in the constitution between the Secretary General and the Chairman, Birigwa has explained the powers he has.
The National Executive Committee requests. The National Executive Committee did not request. Part of it is the problem why we're having a problem, the problems we're facing now, because for some reason the executive headed by none other than the president of the party by the name of Mr. Amriat, Honorable Amriat, refused for the last 4 months to hold the National Executive Committee. Your answer is there by saying that when the chairperson decides, it does not state the chairperson has to consult.
However, some party members say Birigwa during the 28th July National Council signed on a resolution accepting to continue with the elections.
Chairman Macharo tugambye nti alina abantu bamuleetera petition. Ate nga chairman y'omu, kuba mwami Birigwa musaasira musajja wattu. Chairman y'omu yatuuza olukiiko wano n'ayisa resolution zengenda okuba mwenna olwaleero n'agamba nti okulonda kwonna kutambudde bulungi. Era batannaba kulonda bagenda kukola ki kugenda balonde.
Police also released a statement that indicated that it will not give protection to this conference, and to Birigwa, police has never given the party protection.
Things are done also haphazardly. The chairman himself went to the police. So some of you have been trying to twist it as if it is FDC trying to stop this delegates conference here.
Let me ask you, permission was not granted to hold or not to hold. Okay? The letter states we will not provide you with protection. DC members have been beaten, have been jailed, some been killed. Is that what you call protection? We are protected by God. Others follow.
He also clarified that the Constitution allows him to call a delegates conference in case he receives the petitions from members.
1/2 of the district executive committees, we have already received that and more than what's necessary. Or C, on receipt of a petition from 30% of the delegates from at least 50% of all districts in the country. We have.
On the issue of some members who filed a suit in High Court about the extraordinary delegates conference, Birigwa said he will have to wait for the ruling to comment.
Just waiting to hear what's coming out of court today. As you know, it's sitting, and we're waiting to hear from them, and that will determine what the next step is.
Ivan Juko, Nafka Farida for UBC.
FDC Chairman Waswa Birigwa there with our reporter Ivan Juko in that exclusive report. Now, police have confirmed the safe return of 13 Ugandans who were abducted by South Sudan forces following the arrest of a South Sudan chief in Uganda. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga told the media during a press conference in Kampala that there was an exchange of detainees with the South Sudan chief in exchange for the release of the 13 Ugandans.
Uganda's security forces have handed over to Southeast Sudan forces the arrested South Sudan chief who had been apprehended by the UPDF in Uganda. It is alleged that the chief was involved in land grabbing and the illegal sale of land to South Sudan residents. In response to his arrest, South Sudan forces retaliated by the abducting of 13 Ugandans who have also been handed over to the Ugandan forces.
And this one we did in coordination with the commandant of the Bidi refugee camp under the office of the Prime Minister called Nabugere Joel. Of course, they cancelled his refugee status and then handed him over to the South Sudanese authorities.
Police will be conducting comprehensive investigations into the incidents involving private security guards being sedated through the consumption of suspicious food items. Preliminary findings suggest possible conspiracies among private security guards to engage in two criminal activities.
Never accept food and drinks when you're at your duty station. So we think that there could be some bit of conspiracy, whereby they claim that, okay, you'll bring food, give it to me, and when they go unconscious, they fall unconscious and regain consciousness after some time in hospital. The case just goes like that, but when the company is robbed.
Police have received intelligence regarding planned demonstrations by the NUP leadership and potential acts of defiance due to the ongoing suspension of NUP mobilization campaigns.
They have defiantly continued to indicate that they are going to proceed with the second phase, but they must be aware that as the police, we have a duty to police public meetings in a proportionate manner.
In recent developments, at least 4 suspects are currently in custody for their involvement in the illegal interception and theft of goods from vehicles transporting goods along highways.
Arrested 4 suspects who are behind, who intercepted a Fuso lorry, registration number UBN 610P, white in color, that was transporting maize.
Kiruhura District's Deputy LC5 chairperson, Atwiri Adson, has been detained on allegations of raping a 20-year-old female student. Abdul Nasir Lobwama and Ivan Kahwa for UBC.
A roundup there of some of the top stories that the police spokesperson had to address earlier today in that press conference. Now, students have returned to school for 3rd term, and police have issued advice to schools and parents for the safety of learners during their return to and from school. Take a watch.
Police have issued an advisory to schools and parents as 3rd term studies resume nationwide. Schools are urged to review and enhance their emergency security measures, especially in high priority areas. Examining students' health on return. Schools and parents should proactively examine children for any signs of child abuse and promptly report any concerns to the authorities. Limit the excessive labeling of uniforms and bags, which can potentially expose students to risks by revealing their identities. Keep a vigilant eye on changes in students' behaviors, such as tattoos and nicknames, which might indicate involvement in risky activities. Take immediate action to dislodge any gang groups that may arise due to students' feelings of insecurity, loneliness, or lack of proper identity.
Recommend that as a must, helmets must be given to children, because 80% of all head and brain injuries arise out of failure to use helmets while on motorcycles. Avoiding shortcuts, watching out for stalkers on foot, motorcycles or motor vehicles. We need to teach our children how to be very security conscious and use their instincts, especially when they are being followed.
Certain items are also prohibited within school premises to maintain a safe environment. Strange or unknown foodstuffs suspected to contain narcotic substances. Smartphones, electric gadgets, and large sums of money, glass bottles, and any other potentially dangerous item.
Some of the drug dealers have penetrated some of the schools and used some of the school snacks that children take in form of biscuits. There are people who use sim paste.
Precaution techniques were also shared to educate students on the measures to enhance their safety. Train students to reject offers from strangers, encourage them to run and raise an alarm if they sense danger. Parents should personally drop off their children whenever possible to ensure their safety.
We have parents who have vehicles, and while dropping children to school, a parent stays inside the car and asks the child to run to school. Now, between the drop zone and the entrance to the school gate, anything can happen.
Therefore, it is crucial for schools and parents to ensure the safety and security of students by adhering to guidelines and taking necessary precautions. Ivan Kahwa, Rogers Komagum, UBC News.
Guidelines they are being given to schools and parents, especially as students return to school for 3rd term. Now, as schools open for the 3rd term, head teachers and students from Kagadi district are asking government to support them with new structures, laboratory equipment and textbooks for lower secondary school new curriculum.
The deputy head teacher Kagadi SS in Kagadi district, Ziwa Jod Thaddeus, says although he appreciates government support, he asks the Ministry of Education to support the school with new curriculum books and enough practical equipment.
And we are doing well. I hope by the time we go to senior fourth, everything will be covered. However, there are some subjects where there are gaps, like CRE. That one we call upon the suppliers and the ministry through its supplying agencies to work on that. But otherwise, the new curriculum is going well.
Other head teachers from government-aided and private schools, St. Adolph SS, Bunyoro Secondary School, Agape Learning Center, Kagadi Model Primary School, St. Margaret SS, want government to provide necessary materials, equipment, structures for their students as the term begins.
Like for example, in the due course of this academic year, we have been having a challenge with the new curriculum books, whereby you find that the government, yes, has been providing some, but when you look at the numbers compared to the total population we have, you find they give you few books compared to the numbers. So we call upon the government to come in and really add in more some other scholastic materials like the books, more especially for the new curriculum.
Students in candidate classes say teachers have equipped them with enough knowledge to pass, but asks for government support in areas of laboratory equipment, textbooks, among others.
I've been having enough teachers and other lab equipment, like especially when it comes to physics practicals, you find that the equipments are not enough, whereby we need to do as an individual, but actually you find that.
But due to inadequate equipment and chemicals in the laboratory, you find when they are working in a group. So I request the government to help us and give us the computers, give us the chemicals in the laboratory.
We need to know about maybe the ministry that issues the national.
Now, the Ugandan government has pledged to offer commitment towards building stronger mutual cooperation with the Republic of Rwanda to promote better trade relations between the two sister countries. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, Major General Joseph Musanyufu, made the revelation at a joint meeting with immigration officials from the Rwandan government held at Las Vegas Hotel in Imbara City, Western Uganda.
In February 2019, the Rwanda government closed its border with Uganda, halting the movement of its people using road transport to Uganda and the movement of goods and services on allegations that Uganda was aiding and abetting rebel groups that wanted to destabilize Rwanda. Also, Uganda, to the contrary, accused the Rwanda government of spying on it, but in January 2021, Rwanda accepted to reopen its border for the resumption of free movement of goods and services across the Gatuna border and Chanika border. Since then, there has been relative trade between the two countries. However, today, chiefs of immigration from both Uganda and Rwanda held several meetings in Mbara City in Western Uganda to ease more border crossing of goods and services, despite the interim easy crossing at the moment.
But since then, we have agreed that we must have regular meetings so that we can improve the relationship, first of all, of our people, to allow them to facilitate their movement across our borders.
In a meeting held of immigration officers from both countries held at Las Vegas Hotel in Mbara, Lieutenant General Joseph Musanyufu, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Internal Affairs of Uganda, thanked Rwanda for accepting the reopening of Gatuna border.
The responsibility of government to facilitate our people from moving, and our agencies are given the responsibility of ensuring that. And we do that by making it easy for the people to move. So it is being there when they require a service, providing it and ensuring that they move freely.
Major General Apollo Kasita, the Director, Citizenship and Immigration Control in Uganda, said this kind of mutual understanding for both Rwanda and Uganda will facilitate easy crossing of persons for both trade and other personal businesses.
It will help us to, one, remain accountable for our peoples, and that will also help us to facilitate it even better in terms of road. For instance, when the issue of Kizinga came up, we approached the Minister of Works that the road from Kizinga right up to, Rwentobo, it was in a bad state. But government agreed that because now that we have this major crossing point, we can as well work on the other infrastructure.
The Director General of Immigration and Immigration from Rwanda, SCP Linda Nkuranga, noted that a number of movements on both sides have increased and they will continue negotiating to see more cooperation area is registered.
We now even see the growth, the number of movement has increased. You can really see that the crossings is not like what we had previously. So we are here again to discuss again more areas of cooperation, but also to make sure that the resolution that we agreed on during the last JPC, how do we implement some of the decisions.
For UBC, Rebecca Kenyana and Nelson.
We'll now take a short break and return with much more. Do stay with us.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo?
No.
Ha. Hey, can I pay with Momo? Ha.
Here's our merchant code.
Oh, very good.
7 mega?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Ha. Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I've come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
What's the best kind of business to invest in? One that connects Ugandans border to border with high-speed broadband 4G and is the first to launch 5G? What about one of the largest corporate income taxpayers in our country? Oh, the fastest growing telecom in the last 5 years. Wow! Well, here's a chance to invest in it all. Take part in Airtel's initial public offering today for as little as 100 Ugandan shillings per share. Remember, a retail investor gets 5 incentive shares for every 100 they buy and 6 incentive shares if they purchase using Airtel Money. Dial *185*85# now to get started.
The doctor says you are getting better. I have a list of suspects in my file here, but I need you to help me identify the thief who attacked you.
This cat thief again. Malaria is a thief. Don't let it rob you and your loved ones. Prevent it by sleeping under a mosquito net. Clear bushes and all stagnant water around you. If you notice any symptoms, go to a health center near you to test and treat. And ensure to complete your full dose to avoid severe malaria, which could lead to death.
Are Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates Pakaku ground. Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, the International Christian Community Churches in Uganda, in conjunction with born-again churches in Uganda, comprised of born-again pastors serving in Uganda but hailing from other countries that include the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Burundi, Kenya and Rwanda, have hailed President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for granting people freedom of worship. Now, they made the remarks at a media briefing as they unveiled a roadmap to the consecration of their General Overseer, Bishop Dr. Moses Odong, to be held on the 26th of September 2023 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. The chief guest is expected to be President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda.
Rasmi kuweza kuombea yule anasimamia wa rokole ama wa Kristo mjini Uganda. Tunawaomba kwamba nyinyi wote ambao munatusikia muweze kuunganisha makanisa zetu, mapastors, bishop, reverend, ili tuweze kusimama na watu wote, tuende kusimama kwa hiyo siku kuu ambao wataweza kumuombea kiongozi mkuu wa makanisa za Pentecostal. We thank God by being here, and we want to mobilize all the international communities, which is Christian community in Uganda. So far we are here to mobilize each and everyone, friends, that on 26th September this year there would be a very big event, that is consecration of the General Overseer, the one leading all the born-again churches in Uganda. And we thank God that we'll have a chief guest, or the president of this country, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, will be himself leading that program. That's why we are mobilizing all churches, the foreigner, which we don't want to call them like that. We want to call all communities to be a part of this. You can compare the freedom of worship in Uganda is at a high level, and we thank God for the government of Uganda, which providing even that freedom to worship and to praise God, to praise the gospel everywhere. So that's why you can see we as international communities are not Ugandan by nationality. We are foreigners, but we have churches in Uganda. International community.
Religious leaders from Sebei have held prayers for divine intervention into the harmonious demarcation of boundaries between the two districts of Bulambuli and Sebei that have attracted bloody running battles over boundary disputes between the Bagisu and Kopsabeni. Now, the religious leaders revealed that Kapchorwa-Bulambuli boundary has been a matter of contention which officials from the Ministry of Lands have not given attention, hence sparking running battles between the two districts. We have more in this story.
For God, you created the Bagisu, you created us. You gave us a right, you gave them a right. And where our right, O Lord, is being infringed, we pray that you intervene, Master. We call upon you. Appeal to this government, appeal to our brothers, appeal to our sisters, that justice must be done.
The religious leaders from Sebei have decided to hold divine intervention prayers and a day of fasting to express dismay over reluctance of officials at the Ministry of Lands that are charged with the responsibility of ironing out the long outstanding boundary disputes between the Sebei people and their neighboring counterparts in Bulambuli district.
Because of land, here, Lord my God, I'm calling upon, here this land Rwango is again trying to bring even a dispute as well as bringing even bloodshed. So Lord my God, I call upon you, Lord my Heavenly Father, to stand with us and to talk to the government officials, talk to the president, talk to the ministers of lands, and talk to other dignitaries, Lord my Father, that you may talk to them, Lord my God, that they may come on our rescue.
We are coming to speak to our Creator because our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, which have stood very firm against having the boundary demarcated between Bugis and Sebei.
The religious leaders sought for God's intervention to guide and offer wisdom to government officials charged with the mandate of addressing the boundary disputes between Bulambuli and Kapchorwa districts.
We are not certain about our land demarcation. We are standing here this afternoon to present to you our cry. Allah Almighty God, give our president the courage to conclude this sensitive matter.
Chemak Mwanga Godfrey, the head catechist CP parish, attributed the hindrance of development in Kapchorwa to unclear boundary demarcation.
We want to know the actual boundary of Sebei and Bugis, because this thing has really hindered development. Recently we had the construction of the health center, which has ceased, and other developments.
The elders in attendance also sought for audience with the president for a roundtable discussion.
Asking the audience from His Excellency to allow us go and sit on the round table with all the persons in Sebei here, and we see where we can decide, even if the place was encroached much.
In 2014, Ministry of Land officials visited the area and demarcated the boundary, but the elders claim the map followed during the demarcation was doctored.
To Arua now, where Arua City has launched her first physical development plan, PDP 2022-2040. The physical plan seeks to align the development of Arua City orderly and in accordance with the city master plan.
After being granted a city status by an act of parliament in 2020, boundaries of Arua City expanded to 401 square kilometers when 10.5 square kilometers of the then Arua municipality was merged with Aivu County to form the city. However, since then, the city has not had physical development plan. Thanks to urbanization and industrialization project funded by European Union that supported Arua City to achieve the current 2022-2024 PDP.
Why is Arua important? It is a border city, and the trade between Uganda and DRC is critical, and that border crossing is open. I've even been over there. I have walked. It's a thriving area, and when we talk about PDPs, we're now trying to go to the next level of detail to articulate how these growth points will be planned carefully.
According to Amanda Ngabrano, the chairperson for Uganda National Physical Planning Board, having physical plans for new cities in Uganda is paramount to avoid repeat of problems that Kampala capital city has experienced.
There is no city that wants to be like Kampala. It's about order, it's about planning. So this is a major step that you have taken, but please don't sleep with this step. And also for the media, that they have to know and share with the public. Land is fixed, your land will never be expanded. To maximize its use, this is the first step. What should be where, in what proportions, neighboring what.
While reflecting on the challenges faced during planning process, Arua City Senior Physical Planner Moses Finro noted that the physical plan will guide investment and development in Arua City.
And it is very important for the people of Arua because And this country has a law that declares the whole country a planning area. But particularly for Arua city, it will be a framework to guide the growth of this city. Because without that plan, a lot of investments are done in an uncoordinated manner, which poses a lot of problems, and it does not add value to those investments.
With the master plan of Arua City now in place, leaders in Arua City are calling upon landlords and investors to abide by the plan.
I am one of the happiest persons today.
This fiscal plan will expose the community where land is available. If the land is still not yet even registered or titled, the plan itself will be able to indicate that this area is virgin. So as you come in as an investor, do the needful. One of the things you'll have to do is to do the land registration.
Because if they sell away all the land now, it will be the people who have bought it who will benefit from this plan. They may sell, but let them not sell all. Let them keep some for themselves, because the real things are yet to come.
Joseph Onamam, UBC News.
Thanks, Joseph, for that story there. Now, tensions are rising in Kigongi Bisel Central Division of Kabale Municipality as over 30 homes stand on the brink of an environmental catastrophe, with residents fearing an imminent landslide disaster.
With a potential landslide threat looming over Kabale municipality, the most severely likely to be affected is the family of Japheth Basinguzi, a retired tutor whose multi-story house has been gradually sinking due to the unfolding disaster. Basinguzi recounted how this crisis began in July when a crack first appeared on their property.
Because it was a simple crack started just across the whole plot. The plot is long. And we took it as a simple thing. We started buying lorries and lorries of soil, what do they call it, stones, filling the crack, thinking that maybe let us fill it. If it stops, we shall maybe grow some trees along it, and then it may stop. But it's a continuation of the hazard.
The dire situation has forced them to evacuate tenants from the house, which used to generate over shillings 1.5 million in monthly income rent for them.
I am a retired teacher trainer, commonly called a tutor, and my wife was a secondary school teacher. So we are all retired. After retiring, we got our benefits from the government. All the benefits were brought here to make up this house. Plus bank loans, of course, the benefits were not enough, so we had to go to the bank and borrow some money to complete this. And this was actually feeding us properly.
Japheth Basinguzi urgently calls upon the government to assess the impending disaster and provide expert guidance. Amy Twesigamukama, the LC1 chairperson for Kagongi B-Cell, confirmed they have reached out to various officials seeking assistance in understanding the situation. Eva Sasimwe, the environmental officer for Kabale district, disclosed that her office has already inspected the area. She identified the challenge as stemming from the factors within the neighboring wetland and attributed it to the adverse effects of climate change.
There is a wetland in the same area on the lower part of the land, and that wetland is being utilized by the community by use of agricultural activities. So the purpose of the wetland is not encouraged at all because they are utilizing the wetland, and the wetland is supposed to collect all the waters that comes from the hill areas to the lowland. Then now the wetland has been affected by doing agricultural activities. So as forces occur on both the land and the wetland, they pull each other, causing what we call a crack.
With the current state of destruction, residents are living in constant fear that the situation may worsen with the onset of the rainy season. As the situation unfolds, the community remains at edge, hoping for swift intervention before a full-scale disaster strikes.
Sasura obagula ne MTN Momo olwo tukuddize ssente oleweki
oyuge ku MTN Momo pe ogenda kubanga okikwasaganya bulungi nnyo.
Olwaleero tugabye piki zaffe ebbiri ezisoose nga tuziwadde ba merchants babiri, mukyala Hadija ku petrol station ya Moka, mwami Charles naye tuva kumuwa piki ye.
Kituufu mpangudde ne documents zino nzifunye.
I was so surprised when to the petrol station nesangawo nga already MTN yatuuse. Kumbe bino ebintu byo bituufu.
Era kye tubuulira abantu baffe naddala omuntu yenna alina business nti ssaawa zino tugenda tuva mu mbeera eyo ey'okukwata ssente ez'omumpeke nti buli omu yenna afune kye tuyita merchant code. Tugenze tusomesa abantu ku mugaso gw'obutakwata ssente ez'obuliwo naye nga bazifunire ku ssimu yaabwe. Beera steady tugaba pin code yo yo weka.
Kozesa Momo app owanyika *165*3#.
Business news now, and the head of mobilization under the presidential initiative on skilling the girl child, engineer Joseph Sava, has appealed to government to invest more resources in the Skilling the Girl Child project, citing Uganda's bright future once the girl child is economically empowered. Sava made the remarks at Kikoni Presidential Initiative Skilling Center, situated in Kikoni B, Kawempe Division, Kampala, where trainees showcased their products.
The students showcased products such as automobile, beds, chairs, electric car items, fabrication and electronic items, which they have been able to make in the last 6 months of free skills training.
Condensing tube eno eyambibwako akuuma kaneeno ketwayise compressor. Compressor eno muli mota yange eno ekuba gas ono ali munda n'asobola okutambula.
Speaking at Chikoni Center, the students recounted how hard it was before joining the skilling project and how much they have achieved. Chikoni Center Administrator Nasanga Badradini appreciated the President and the team for the support rendered despite the challenges faced as they try to offer a girl child better future.
Naye Dr. Mazima gennyini yanyaniriza bulungi olw'omwana ono era yamuwa obujjanjabi ne bamulongoosa okubanga alabika bw'ati.
Dr. Katana Faith expressed gratitude to the staff of Chikoni Presidential Initiative Skilling Center for the contribution towards the success of the project, but appealed to politicians to desist mixing the project with politics.
Gonna tekyali mirimu nti ngenda kunoonya omulimu nkole era bavaano ne bamanyi nti nze omulimu ngenda kwekozesa era nga bwe muwulidde bano abaana bye mulaba bano batandise dde okukola nga bakola ssente. Twabalazeewo ebizimbe abaana baffe bonna be bazimbye kalina eyo gye mulabye.
The Kampala Resident City Commissioner Amina Lukanga appealed to students invest more in research to enhance their passion of creativity.
Singa kisoboka twabere tusobola tugamba amasomero gonna ge baafuula aga USEUPE gafuke skilling centers. Kubanga omwana agenda malako primary bano bwe tulina abazira education kitegeeza omwana tasomangako. Kati UPE lwaki tebatuwa mu skilling center omwana n'agendayo n'ava nga alina skill. Tusomeza emyezi 6 ng'omwana asomesa banne.
The chief guest, Engineer Sava Joseph, the head of mobilization under the Presidential Initiative on Skilling the Girl Child, appealed to government to invest more resources in the project to change the ghetto youths.
I want to thank Dr. Katana and the team, Nasanga, but above all, the President
and the State House controller, because everything is coming to the grassroots. Only members of parliament, the same Ugandans, those who have been asking where State House money has been going, this is where money has been going. Because these children, young youth, the youth study for free. We have to pay for tuition, they have to pay for accommodation and everything. This is State House money.
Out of the 500 students that enrolled for the intake, 400 are going to sit for their final exams, with 50 being girls.
Now, in the forex market, the US dollar started with a buying rate of shillings 3,724 and a selling rate of shillings 3,734.71. But by midday, it had strengthened with a buying rate of shillings 3,743.04 and a selling rate of shillings 3,753.04. By the close of the market, the US dollar had slightly weakened with a buying rate of 3,742.38 shillings and a selling rate of 3,752.38 shillings. So let's have a look now at how the shilling fared today against the dollar and other selected local and international currencies.
Mom, how did you sleep? How is Salongo? Oh, Mommy, how is Grandma? And Simba, the dog, yeah, the funny one.
Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel Bona voice bundles. Dial *100 *1 hash. Select Call Bona to choose bundles from as low as 1,000 shillings from daily, weekly, monthly, or bundles that don't expire. Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel. A reason to imagine.
Sports news now, and we look at football. And KCCA FC started their journey to the 2023-2024 CAF Confederation Cup with a 3-1 defeat to Libya's Abu Salem in the first leg game played on Sunday evening in Tunisia. The Lugogo-based side was 2-0 down at halftime, and at the start of the second half conceded a third goal. The team struggled when they lost defender Mustafa Mujuzi to a red card, but got lucky when striker Abeka Mayanja pulled one back in the dying minutes of the game, but it was too late to save the game. Now, with the defeat, KCCA will have to ride on their away goal and complete the job when the two sides meet for the return leg that will be played at St. Mary's Stadium, Chitende, on the 23rd of September 2023.
السلام عليكم. يلا يلا كاش يلا بيتر دزيان هيا تبع كورتي تبع كورتي
KCCA will face a Herculean task in the second leg of that game as they face that Libyan side there, which they lost to 3-1. And that story brings us to the end of this second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 18th day of September 2023. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, but I'll leave you With the weather forecast for tomorrow with Kutesa Mili, who is on standby.
Thanks for tuning on UBC. My name is Kutesa Mili once again with your weather update. We are having thunder showers dominating most parts of our country. Nevertheless, some other areas still waking up with some sunny intervals. Seeing the satellite picture over Africa, we're having a rainbow sitting over Africa, including our country, Uganda. In addition, with local influx and moist winds that are blowing from both Congo Airmans and the Indian Ocean, bring us the wet activities that we are receiving lately. Tomorrow morning, though, we expect to wake up with light showers across our capital city, Kampala, and central part of it. And going into the eastern stretch, we are having thunder showers early mornings. Apart from so, we are having light isolated showers. The western stretch, we are having rainfall. Apart from Kasese, where we are waking up with a bright sunny day. Moving to the northern sector, we are waking up to a light shower day. Moving to the afternoon hours, we are seeing a pickup of thunder showers dominating most parts of the central at a maximum 25 degrees Celsius across Kampala and a maximum 28 degrees Celsius across Nakasongola. Eastern is still expected to have rainfall dominating that side at a maximum 29 degrees Celsius across Salty and 28 in the rest of the nearby places. The western stretch, we are seeing a pickup of thunder showers dominating that side at a maximum 29 degrees Celsius across Kasese and 28 across Masindi, 26 across Mbarara, Kabale Highlands with the lowest of 24 degrees Celsius. The northern sector is expected to wake up to continue with thunder showers even across Arua, but the Lila with the lowest temperature of 28 degrees Celsius, but the rest of the place with 29 degrees Celsius. Is moving out of Uganda to the cities across the globe. You're forecasting sunny conditions across Dubai, Cairo, and New York at maximum 42 degrees Celsius across Dubai and 23 across New York. Nairobi with sunny intervals at a maximum 27 degrees Celsius. Hong Kong, though, with light showers at a maximum of 33 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.